Welcome back to the Department of Context. Last time, we explored how modern translations of Beowulf contain both narrative prose and epic poetry. This blending of forms is similar to the blending of pagan and Christian beliefs that are woven throughout the text. Today, we'll examine how the blending of form and worldview are used to dramatic effect in the conclusion of this epic tale, which takes place 50 years after Beowulf first saved the gates from the deadly clutches of Grendel and his mother. Beowulf's defeat of this fearsome duo, one of them with his bare hands, places him securely in the Gate Hall of Fame. So what does this greatest of all time warrior have left to prove, you might ask? In Beowulf's world, fate is seen as a force that guides a hero's life. It is believed to be set, but how a hero faces it is truly what matters. And then there's legacy, the mark a warrior leaves behind. For Beowulf, it's not just about his glory in battle, but how he'll be remembered by future generations. That brings us to today's mission. We'll be analyzing how the values of different cultures shape themes of fate and legacy in the text of Beowulf. As we examine the text, be on the lookout for how pagan and Christian perspectives on these themes appear in the text. Make sure you have your lesson materials as we prepare to head back to Gateland. Come on! Beowulf, now an old man, has ruled as a good and honorable king, bringing peace and prosperity to his people. This is nice, quiet, no scary monsters or spooky bogs in the dead of the night. What was that? Quick, I need a pause button. Whoa. I can't believe that actually worked. Well, I don't do dragons, so I'm just gonna go back to the university now. Whew, this is more like it. Well, so much for peace and quiet. There's a dragon on the loose. This looks like a job for Gateland's bravest warriors. You know, after seeing this beast up close, I can't say I blame them. But surely someone will step up and defend their homeland. Could it be? No way! Beowulf, the aged warrior who slew Grendel half a century ago, is going to fight the dragon and defend his people one last time. Whoa! Beowulf is back! Despite his status as a senior citizen, he's going to take on a fire-breathing monster. Let's head to the cave's entrance and listen in as Beowulf addresses his men before battle. Be on the lookout for any claims that Beowulf makes in this passage, and think about how these claims reveal ideas about fate and legacy.
Here too will I, old though I be, work deeds of valor. I will not give way the space of 1 foot, but will meet him here in his own abode, and make all my boasting good. Abide ye here, ye warriors, for I will win the gold and save my people, or death shall take me. So saying, he raised his great shield, and, unaccompanied, set his face to the dark entrance. What claims do you notice? And what beliefs do these claims reveal about fate and legacy? Pause the video to record your thoughts. On the one hand, Beowulf makes a series of bold claims about how he will defeat the dragon and be victorious. On the other hand, he acknowledges that failure means certain death. His acceptance of either victory or death shows a belief in fate's control over the outcome. He knows that one of these fates is inevitable, but he is prepared to face it with courage.
Further, Beowulf's desire to win the gold and save his people, despite his advanced age, reveals his concern for preserving his legacy. His actions are motivated by the desire to ensure that his reputation as a hero endures even after his death, demonstrating the importance of legacy in the warrior culture. Earlier in the story, Beowulf is described as an ideal warrior and hero. So let's dig a little deeper into the text here. How does this passage contribute to our understanding of Beowulf as both a pagan and a Christian hero? Pause the video to record your thoughts. The influences of the early Germanic tribes who first told this tale and the Christian monks who later wrote it down are both evident in this passage. Beowulf's acceptance of death reflects pagan beliefs in weird or fate, and his desire to work deeds of valor, even as an old man, aligns with the pagan value of achieving immortality through heroic actions. On the other hand, the Christian monks who wrote this story down may have seen Beowulf as a figure of moral courage and duty, qualities that align with Christian teachings. His willingness to sacrifice his life for the safety of his people echoes Christian ideals of selflessness and leadership. Like all men, Beowulf does eventually die, though you'll have to dig into your lesson materials to find out how. You'll also learn more about the burial practices of the Anglo-Saxons, which included the building of a cairn, a burial marker made of stones. In our next passage from Beowulf, record any details about the construction of Beowulf's cairn that stands out to you. There then the Vader gates wrought for their ruler dead, a cairn on the ocean cliff widespread and lofty, visible far and near by vessels' wandering crews. They built in 10 days' space the hero's monument, and wrought with shining swords the earthen rampart wall, so that the wisest men worthy might deem it. Back to the earth they gave treasures of ancient folk, gold to the gloomy mold where it now layeth, useless to sons of men as it e'er was of yore. You probably noticed a lot of details about Beowulf's cairn, including its prominent location on an ocean cliff and the many treasures it's adorned within. So, how does the gate's construction of the cairn reflect their ideas about fate and legacy? Pause the video to record your thoughts. The cairn symbolizes the gate's acceptance of death for even their greatest of heroes. Yet, through the cairn, which is built in order to be seen by passing sailors, they believe that Beowulf's legacy will endure. Beowulf himself might not be able to achieve immortality, but his bravery and accomplishments will live on. What about this cultural blending that we've seen throughout the tale? Where do you see evidence of pagan and Christian influences in this passage? Pause the video to record your thoughts. The pagan influences in this scene are clear in the construction of the cairn, in the way the text reflects traditional pagan burial practices. The cairn stands as a monument not just to Beowulf's greatness, but also to his duty to his people. However, the Christian monks who wrote this down added a deeper layer of commentary. While the gates bury the dragon's treasure with Beowulf, the text notes that the treasure will lie useless, just as it always was. This subtly conveys a Christian critique of pagan warrior culture, suggesting that material wealth and earthly glory are ultimately insignificant compared to the spiritual riches of eternal life. Beowulf, as a hero, embodies both worlds. His faithfulness to his people reflects pagan values, but his willingness to sacrifice himself carries the weight of Christian ideals of duty and selflessness. These themes of fate and legacy aren't just abstract concepts. They shape how we understand Beowulf's final moments, his choices, and his legacy. In your lesson materials, you'll dive deeper into the finale of Beowulf. As you read, pay attention to how these themes of fate and legacy are shaped by the influences of pagan and Christian values. As you consider the life of Beowulf, remember that in every character's journey, you can find lessons for your own path.
Hey!